Hello traders, good morning, good evening, good day. Vladimir here. This is the weekly forecast for the week of 28th of February 2016. March is coming, and with the beginning of new month, we have non-farm payrolls report to be published this Friday, and it seems that again all the eyes are back to USA. While during the last week we had huge surprise, and this surprise was from the Britain pairs, and that's actually surprising and sometimes not surprising. All happened during last weekend when Boris Johnson, the mayor of London, said he is against Britain to stay in the Eurozone. That seriously affected the pound, and we saw some huge drop, and there is one reason for that. Mr. Johnson is considered to be very, very close to the leaders of the country, let's call it this way, without naming specifically, and that fact just show that if the inner guys don't actually support for Britain to remain in the Eurozone, that's not as good as for the pound as we actually might think, right? And as I said last week, and if you remember, I'm not sure at all if staying in the Eurozone is any prestige right now, these days. Yeah, Eurozone is under real crisis, and it's not getting better. Maybe even the opposite. It's getting worse. So, what's going to happen since then? As I said last week, as long as this bottom holds, we might be talking about buy opportunities. And last week I was looking for potential buys, if you remember, on this kind of scenario. Okay, was with the breaks and the idea to enter. But with the gap down, of course, every plan changed because, well, that's what we call unexpected event, and of course when something like that coming, that all the technical view is irrelevant, and we'll have just to skip and wait what's coming next. So what is coming next, and that's not only for pound, it's also for all the pound pairs. It's very simple actually. If you take a look here, there is a big chance we crossed 61 down like it wasn't exist, right? We did have a fight at the beginning. We respect this area, we could say, but in reality it broke down and continues lower, and the next area is right here, 133 zone. Is it doable? Of course it is. And if we take a look on the length of the waves, that took around 40 weeks to develop. The current wave, right, we have few more weeks. By 40 it's reachable, it's doable. There is no bullish divergence yet, so yeah, we could see the pound dollar on the next several weeks, maybe a bit more, of course, dropping as low as to 133. It could be even slightly lower, like the psychological 130. Is that doable as well? My answer is of course. And if you measure this entire huge wave, guess where we get our 61.8? 125. Is that doable? Well, yes, it is. And everything would be actually decided by the next few months, because in June we will have the vote. Okay, the people are going to vote what they prefer, what they want to happen. Something tells me that Britain will not leave the Eurozone yet. I might be wrong, however, because 2016 is going to be full of noises and full of actions. And we already start to see that. If it's the election in US coming, if it's all the geopolitics changes, if it's all the sensitivity situation in Middle East and so on, and just the beginning, things are warming up. And that's why everything in reality could happen with the pound and the pound pairs. Now, if they will leave, right, in reality, we could see this drop continuing because they might leave. But later on, I am not sure at all this is a bad step. Okay, taking its own steps could be, after all, could create some bottom and could take us again to rise. Not sure how bad it would be to leave the Eurozone. Honest view. That's why we, as for now, as there is no divergence preventing any short, the idea is to look for longs to short them. Anything like that, like a bearish hidden divergence, should be taken as a sell opportunity. If we get two rallies and divergence here, adds a sell opportunity. Could we go and close the gap before we drop down? Of course. But again, every rally followed by divergence, ideally by cycling, double waves, triple wave cycles, is opportunity to go for sell. So I will not get specific plan because I don't have it. But the idea here is very simple, actually, much more simpler than it might sound at this stage. Every waving, and that could be mirrored to this, okay, waves should be mirrored. So that could be the mirror. Mirror is the way it reacts, right? So the angle, actually, right? That could be the mirror. It could be this kind of mirror. It could be the mirror to the entire last cycle, which is this. So something like that. We could play inside this area, okay? But every rally followed by bearish divergence, ideally 4-hour chart or daily, but daily is far from that. So 4-hour chart, we should be looking for sell opportunities. That's the case. And yeah, I believe as long as there is no divergence completed on the weekly chart, the chance for 133 or even lower, as we saw from the monthly chart cycle, is huge. And the next pair is leading me to is the Euro-Pound, another pair affected by the pound. And the biggest question is, now if you remember 2 weeks ago, and 3 weeks ago as well, we've been talking of the scenario that if the Euro-Pound actually bouncing from here, this range, and continue higher, we are about to complete the triple cycle, which we are now completing. How great is that, right? So we did have the chance to enjoy from the sales a couple of weeks ago, this view, but this support was holding, and this turned to be the range we've been talking about. And again, after last week, I was looking for something like that, to be honest. Okay, that was one of my scenarios. But once it opened with the gap, and this is the principle of convergence. See, that was the range we've been talking about, we've been analyzing. Since the break up here, we are under bullish convergence. So basically, the pressure was yet bullish. Now the biggest question is what's coming next, and that's very important question, because weekly chart without divergence without any divergence yet, right? It does look like convergence, so we will have a top before the correction down, and it's going to happen. But is that over, or could we still cross above 080 or 081? And I believe, yeah, it's doable yet. Okay? And basically, if we take a look on the trend line, waiting for the pound, Euro-Pound, sorry, it is next to 080, 081. So there is big chance we will yet get the bullish move. Now, if we drop as low as to the 1-hour chart, we had this bearish convergence right here with the breakout. We are getting two waving. So basically, if we break it down, we could expect this bottom to be respected. We could even get two waves down here back to the trend line, but is the bullish game over? Not yet confident about it. Daily chart is trying to create a false break, but the pullback during the last day of Friday, you see how weak the false break is? It's actually like, what, 5 pips below the last high? Seriously, it's a joke. So we will have to see how it develops. The only way which will make me think game is over for the bulls, if we get double or triple cycle to the downside, then double cycle mirrored back to here, and from there, if we break down, then I can say, alright, while this high is holding, we are next to sells, aiming the 075 area-ish. Okay, so keep it in mind, and that's the way I believe this pair is going to behave. Now the next one on the list, again related to the pound pairs, and that's pound versus the kiwi. Because this pair, from my point of view, is going to be the next monster. Now, if we observe the cycles, we will find, I ignored this spike for one reason, because it was like some crazy new spike, which after we still continue to see rally. So I ignore the spike, I respect the rally. Okay, I respect the top of the rally. Now, the 161 expansion of this area is right here next to 201, 202 zone. And the expansion of the shorter cycle, the duplication of the cycle, is right there as well. That's 203 zone. That's how I believe once we reach this area, if we reach this area, to be honest, we are after huge buys. Now on the short term, however, we might get pullbacks. Okay? The reason I don't believe we are yet on the bottom is simply because there is no divergence completed yet on the weekly chart and daily combo. So the pullbacks are very reasonable, if they will be, and very likely they will be on the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart. That's the idea. So basically what's coming here, I think that this cycle should be mirrored. Therefore, I believe this is kind of the movement we are going to have. And I would say, in other words, while this bottom hold, let the rally complete, get a pullback, and one more rally to mirror this. Somewhere next to here, I believe we are going to get divergence and a sell opportunities. Again, aiming somewhere like 203, maybe slightly even lower. Now, dropping down to 1-hour chart, do we have any kind of convergence? Not yet, but if, well, actually, we do, but from this high. The biggest question, will there be enough? Because the real high of this area is right here. So if we manage to do something like that, that would be seriously ideal call. Because from this place, if we manage to get it there, 2 waves down should do the work. Here we are looking for buys, aiming double waves as a mirror to this. And all that is relevant while this bottom holds. Because if this bottom will not hold and we just go below that without providing any opportunities to buy as we want them, we will be looking for next buys, and that should be 203-ish. Slightly higher, slightly lower, but you got my point. So this is really, really good opportunity. Start to pay attention. Next one on the list is Euro versus the CAD. Really nice one, considering the fact that the duplication area, which I was looking for a potential trade here, is broken like wasn't exist. So does that mean we are going all the way to 143? There is a big chance for that. That's also kind of a meeting point of a trend line right here. Okay, so and another question we should ask ourselves is the rally over, and for that I am not sure at all, because I still believe that that is doable, and I still believe that we might turn to be just in a range here, so kind of drop, and we might get in a buy once again for this pair. But so far, no divergence on daily, no divergence on weekly. We broke below the 20 MA. Other words, if we can get rallies, we should look to sell them. And if you take a look on the current cycle, this is 4-hour chart with the 1-hour chart cycle combo. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. That's a kind of divergence developing, very weak, but still kind of divergence. That's also 1, 2, 3 on the last move. So from this place somewhere, we very likely get some kind of pullback. But as I said, that should be reaction to this one. Once we get a divergence, we are after sells again. Make sense? And if we drop to the 1-hour chart, what could happen here is slightly lower area. We might easily start to measure the 4-hour chart and 1-hour chart levels in order to get where we can go. And that's pretty much where we are. Okay, we're not far, like 100 bit more points to the downside. This is the first measurement. We could start to measure the next cycle as well and see where we are, and we will get this kind of zone for action. This is the last triple cycle, as I mentioned. So once we get it here, look for the bullish divergence, of course, and you can start to put this trend line to false break, and then breaks above this trend line, and we can go and start to get the rallies. Okay, so mark this trend line. Actually, that's what we will want. Okay, once we false break this, okay, then if now here not just false break because we're not there on the levels. What I would suggest in such situations is actually look for convergence. What do I mean? Let's say it continues to the downside. Okay, on a charts like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, it's doable to find a convergence. Now MACD, let's say below, okay, then we get something like that. That will be in convergence, positive high, negative low, positive high on the histogram. Just imagine this is the zero line, and here we should follow top, bottom, top, pull back, and we might try these buys. Got the point? This is the idea. I know it's a bit tricky here, but it looks really correct. And sell rallies, okay, that should sound good plan because we don't have any divergence yet on the daily chart to prevent it. Well, in terms of basic divergence, of course, because we do have a kind of divergence developing here, but again, it's not there yet, and the 4-hour chart does not support on divergence as well. So it's still sell rallies until we recreate the divergence. Next on the list is going to be actually the Pacifics before I go to the yens. Let's start, I call them the commodity pairs. Dollar-CAD, nothing new, just follow our plan we've had. Where is it? Dollar-CAD, here we go. Okay, the buy zone we wanted to get. So for following our plan beautifully, I believe 134, 133 is going to be the temporary bottom, simply because I believe that this cycle is about to end. Now the question is going to be from here or from here. I still not sure about the measurement. Anyway, it doesn't matter how it turns around. It's 134 and lowered up down to 132. This is the zone. We will have to combine the daily cycle and the 4-hour chart cycle if they develop, and then we can start to look for buy opportunities. New Zealandian dollar, well, this one again followed our plan beautifully to reach the 068 zone, and then I was looking for higher, but 068 was the one. I actually missed like 20 pips, but that was our plan here, and we got the beautifully rallied as wanted. Now the question is, the game over or not? I think yes. From my point of view it was, and I believe we are after sales now. The question is, already or not? I'll explain. This is a range cycle. How do we know? We got a false break here, we got a false break here, we got a false break here. Okay, few false break inside the same zone, that's a range zone. So the only way for us to trade it is if we get below the last low, creating and completing the convergence, pulling back in 2 waves or 3 waves, and then we can start to sell versus the top. That's the principle we can apply to sells if we will want to start. If not, there is still chance that this is just a short-term correction before the longer rally once again towards the 070-ish, which is going to take place. We will know, I believe, only on the longer run. I will be bearish if the scenario, as I said, with the breakdown of this range and below this bottom will take place. If not, I'll remain neutral on my side, looking for buy opportunities if the bottom really holds. Aussie dollar, well, to be honest, on this one I don't have honest clear view. I believe we should get one more bottom, simply because this double cycle and this double cycle both came to the end, double top divergence, and now we are inside the convergence on the 4-hour chart. So basically, if we manage to find this bottom pullbacks, we can try one more sell, aiming first of all this area. After that, we will have to stop and to watch what's coming next. OZ versus the Kiwi. Where is my favorite? Ah, here we go. So far so good, and for me it's yet under buy situation. Now, could we suddenly get something like that, duplication of this and duplication of this? Yes, we could. It's still doable. Okay, but for me every 2 waves down is a buy. Every 2 waves down is a buy, and we got these 2 waves right here on the 1-hour chart. Sorry, here. Okay, so far really cool. So yeah, as long as it holds 2 waves, buys. If it breaks 2 bigger waves, and again a buy. For me, only buys. And the principle: 2 wave divergence, 2 waves divergence, 2 waves divergence. That's what we will want to do. Okay, let's continue with the yen pairs. Dollar yen. Well, it started the rally we wanted, but slightly lower than expected. We got this kind of triple cycle here. Divergence was there all over. As long as this bottom holds, we are looking for buys. Said it not once. And the question is, what's coming next? Okay, and I don't think yet the sell over. From my point of view, this is the double cycle that will take us to one of the scenarios. Neither huge drop down or kind of a range movement that will start to appear here for some while before we will go lower. So yeah, from my point of view, get ready for sells, and this is why I believe that this was the cycle. This is how the cycle goes. Okay, see that? Okay, we had double cycle up, small double cycle down, which was not mirrored. Therefore, this is the leg I believe we are going to double cycle again, and then we are going for a mirror of this entire cycle. So I will want it to reach something like 114.80, let's say 114.50 and higher. From there, sells back to something like 113, 112.50 at least. This is my view here. Yen, other yen pairs, pound yen should follow. I don't think at all game is over. Weekly chart is without divergence, monthly chart without divergence, no combos. So 2 waves up, and of course we are looking for sell. Now this cycle on the 4-hour chart very likely bottomed after the divergence and the break of the trend line, so we are probably going for something like that, and from there again sells. So drop down to 1-hour chart, and we might get a triple cycle completing here. 1, 2, 3. We might get 1, 2, and one more push up before bottom takes place. All that is relevant as long as last low holds. I can continue with all the yen pairs. They all hint the same thing exactly. Gold and silver. Well, to be honest, my view as for now didn't change. It's kind of neutral right now, tending to be the bearish. That was what we wanted to see. If you're, let me just find the gold chart we were talking about. Gold here. Okay, we should get something like that for gold. Okay, and a sell, and that's pretty much what we got. Okay, drop down, rally, and we are going down again. So for me, game is not over yet. There is no divergence, clear divergence to stop it. So sell rallies is yet not a bad idea. We could get something like that, and one more sell until we could start to see bullish divergences. So basically, while the top holds, for me, sell rallies remain the plan. Silver is the same. For longer run, I don't have any view right now. I might have as we go on with the chart. S&P is at the top. We have been talking about big chance for that, and with 4-hour chart created cycling here and here. That was a great combo, and we might start to get a pullback down. I believe we will go to here again, as long as this top holds, of course. And once we do, we'll have to see if this is the range that we are going to continue to move inside or not. Time will tell us. As for now, I still remain bearish in my mind, while this top holds for sure. If this top will be broken, I'll have to reanalyze my view. So far, no change. This is the plan. Oil did so far exactly what we wanted. Oil, here we go, 2 down and we are going for a buy, 2 down and we are going for a buy, and we got paid very well on the last top. Perfect from my point of view. Now oil completed triple cycle on the 1-hour chart, so we might get this kind of pullback. 1, 2, 3. So 2 waves down, and as long as this bottom hold, of course, 2 waves down, and if there is a bullish divergence, can try to join the buyers. For longer run, oil seems trying to build a range. Now, for longer run, we'll have to stop and see, because I believe there is a big chance that if even if we get above this area, we should get inside and start to play in this zone for a while. It's also sound logical and doable due to the wavings here. So yet my view didn't change. 2 waves down is a buy for those of you who couldn't enjoy the rally, and if yes, just enjoy your profits. Basically that's the idea, and look for 2 waves down, bullish divergence, buy. Same idea exactly. And the last one on the list, natural gas. You remember my view, nothing changed, all remain same view exactly. That's the line on the monthly, that's the line on the weekly, which we have. Okay, that's the one, and we can do it also from the last bottom of the previous rally. Nothing changed. That's the monster zone we will get huge bounce from. Start to get ready. It's one of a time opportunities. Thank you very much for your time watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did, as always. Feel free to share your comments, your feedbacks. If you have any question about any specific pair, let me know. I'll do my best to reply as soon as I can. I'll see you again, of course, with the daily forecasts to come, and I wish you a wonderful week, great trading and great opportunities. Yours, Vladimir Ribakov.